things brought a smile to your day on this Monday. And now we're ready to move into theme number 2. Did you hear an uh-oh? There was an uh-oh in the background. You better hurry, girl. I have a special guest with me today. Do you want me to head over here? Okay. Yep, I can do that.
This used to take longer.
All right, so let me look at a couple more comments while Jenny finishes up. Jenny is going to be my guest host today with sharing a how-to. So, yep, and Bill says, cutest ever, mini me. Yeah, so fun. Yeah, grandkids are the best, so you tell me. All right. Linda tells me I will have fun. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I was texting Barb and Kyle this weekend. We were Marco Poloing, and Barb said, guess what I did today? And she had a whole list of things that she did with her granddaughters, and they went to ice cream, and they, played at the park, and they did all these things. And I said, oh, being a grandma must be the best. So, pretty cool. All right, Jenny, are you ready? Okay.
I think
In fact, Deborah says Jenny always does great how-tos. You can thank Deborah White for that.
Deborah White is very nice to me.
Deborah White is awesome. Okay, let's take a look. What are we doing today, Jenny?
Okay, so we are tomorrow. If you haven't signed up for my class, you should.
You totally should.
And if I was smarter, I would have brought what we're making so you could look at it. But it's Laura Heine's mini pincushion. I have the pattern with it right here.
Oh, yeah. I was going to grab a picture and then I forgot.
This is backwards. I always try to go this way, but
I know.
I gotta go this way. So we're going to be making this tomorrow. This one's the mini size. There is also the teeny tiny.
So no matter what size they do, or it doesn't even have to be this one in particular, right?
It's the same technique.
It's really the same technique with Laura Heine. So that's awesome.
This one is a little bit easier because of, like, I can't think of
the colors. The
values. Yeah, the values. And it's a little easier to tackle than some of her super intense ones. But what we're going to demo today is Steam-A-Seam 2.
Yeah, I asked Jenny if she would talk about Steam-A-Seam 2 because it's one of those misunderstood products. And I know for me, I shied away from Steam-A-Seam 2 for a long time. And it was because it I don't know, for some reason it scared me.
Well, it's sticky.
It's sticky. And there's 2 pieces of paper on it, unlike heat and bond, right?
And it will ruin your iron.
And it will
ruin it comes off.
Well, it can. But that's why you have good products to make sure that doesn't happen. But so like heat and bond is so straightforward. You draw on it, you draw on the paper side, you peel it back, you cut it. It's easy.
Except for if you have to reverse your pattern, then it's like, wait.
Exactly. So this one is a little different, but I love Steam-A-Seam now.
I actually like it better.
It's my go-to. And it's actually lighter, don't you think, than heat and bond? I find it a little bit more pliable.
It has more give to it, definitely.
So let's take a look, and I'm going to get this up close to you.
I gotta come
and show us the technique.
I keep trying to go this way. Here.
Show us the technique of Steam-A-Seam.
So this is an 18-inch Steam-A-Seam 2, not light. We have the light as well. I like the not light better. It's a little tackier. But either is fine. It's just if it's going to take you a while to finish your product, or project, if you're like me, you want the heavy duty stuff. The light stuff might fall off.
Right.
In 2 years when you finally get to it to finish. Right.
Rose says she thinks it's actually easier to work with.
I think so too.
And Bill says that she likes to run it through her copy machine to copy the images instead of tracing.
Our copy machine guy would yell at us if we did that.
Yeah, there you go. But so not this one, but maybe an inkjet
you have your own.
printer.
And they do have the sheet ones. Maybe those would be better. I wouldn't recommend running this through. It would probably get stuck.
Yeah.
So you just open it up, and it does come in 12 by 8.5 inch sheets. I find you waste a lot of fabric that way. I like the bigger sheet better. Okay. We sell it in the 18 inch because we don't want to ship you a 24 inch. So sorry.
We could fold it in half, though.
Yeah, we could. But
if they really wanted 24,
we don't have any to sell. We only have 18.
Okay.
But the 18 inch is a good size to work with because it's back quarters, and I think the smaller tends to be harder. Anyway, so what you're going to do is pull this open. And whatever side pulls is the side that's coming off, obviously. So a lot of people are wondering, I don't know if you can see, this has a little grid.
Yellow grid.
Just ignore the grid. It doesn't do anything for you.
Okay.
So you just pick the one side, and it's tacky, like it's sticking. Well, it works better if I'm down here. See, it's stuck to my hand.
Yeah, you can actually hear that. Let's see that, or
Yeah.
you hear that. Yeah,
This is
there's a sticky side to it, and I love that
Me
for
too.
lots of different reasons.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives you so it doesn't slide. I should come in this thing so it looks like I'm just talking to myself.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
she's right here. Although now we're not social distancing.
Yeah, there we go.
So anyway,
Put this on.
we pulled. No, it's fine. We pull this back. She's such a good boss. Look at her here with her mask. I should go get mine, but then you would really not understand what I'm saying. So you're gonna put your
Tell us
fabric wrong side down. Where did I put my fabrics?
So yeah, and it comes in sheets too. So
Yeah,
that
it
would be
comes in
helpful. Ann Bill says she's used it in a laser copier with no problem.
You really don't have to wear that. I was just teasing you.
We're together more than family sometimes.
We really are. I see her more than my kids.
Yeah. It's terrible to say.
No, it's okay. My kids don't notice when I'm home anyway.
All right,
I
let's
have
take
boys.
a look.
They all play video games.
There we
Okay,
go.
so we're putting it wrong sides down on the tacky side. And this is fairly stuck, but
enough of a tack just to hold it into place, right?
Which
so
is
that you
nice.
can readjust.
and I would recommend ironing your fabric before it gets on there.
Yeah.
Just you should do that anyway, right?
Mhm.
So what we're gonna maybe work on today, I'm sweating, I've been running up and down the stairs, is if you were in comment sold 2 weeks ago, you got this cute little applique with a certain purchase. So,
Let's show them what it looks like. This one.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pinch you. I'm a hot
This
mess
guy.
today, sorry ladies.
That's okay. You're doing great.
Here is the little
Isn't that cute?
thingy.
So fun.
So instead of using heat and bond, we're going to do the steam a seam. And you're just going to get your fabrics on here. And you don't want to use a ton of overlap, just because it will get stuck on your iron or your mat. Don't use it on your iron directly. And I put on my fabrics.
So this is how Jenny uses steam a seam, but you don't have to do it this
That's
way.
true.
You could actually trace, just like you would on heat and bond.
Yeah,
could
you
trace
just put it
and
underneath
Put it
here
under there.
and trace. I'm just doing this because I don't know why. This is how I know how to do it.
Okay.
You have less waste this way. So I like to adhere my fabric to the steam a seam first before I use it.
But adhering it is just sticking it, not ironing it.
No, I'm going to iron it too.
Right now you're
Yeah,
going to iron it? Okay.
I've pre-measured these pieces so I don't have a ton of waste, although this one seems like it's the wrong one. But I cut all these.
This is going to be really cute.
Yeah. This is what I found in Kris's scraps in like 2 seconds. Actually, I want the smaller piece.
Okay.
There we go. But look, it's not stuck on there yet.
It's nice to have scrap bins for sure.
And I need to iron this before I put it on. So Kris talked to them.
It's fine.
No, it won't work.
Okay. Let me see what questions you have while she's ironing that. Yay, Barb says, I'm so excited. I just double checked and I'm signed up for Jenny's class tomorrow.
good.
Yay!
I think we have about 37
And
people.
it's not too late to sign up. So, obviously you won't have all the materials you need for tomorrow's class if you sign up today, but that's okay. I mean, a lot of people actually prefer watching it the first time and then going back to it later. Or if you can't watch it live, know that all of the classes are recorded so you can go back and watch it at a later time.
And I'm going to warn you, you're not going to finish tomorrow in my class.
Oh,
But
no.
You will know how to do it
Yeah.
before we are done. So I'm just sticking some more stuff on here.
Cindy said, sorry,
sorry.
glad to know I'm like Jenny and that I might not get back to a project for a while. Yep.
Yeah.
Good
1
company,
year for
Cindy.
Christmas, Kris gave me a little needle keeper that says I never finished any, and it drops off. It's like a hand embroidered thing.
It was awesome.
Because I never finish anything
That's right.
unless I'm on a
Right.
deadline. Okay, So
okay,
we're almost here.
Kelly, if somebody did not get the owl pattern with their order from Comment Soul last week, then just
Will you shoot me an email and I'll email it to you?
Shoot Jenny an email. Jenny@mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. 2 P's and an E.
So now I'm just kind of cutting. I've stuck my fabric on here. Have a little bit of waste, but that's okay. Okay, so my stuff's all stuck on here.
Okay.
Stay.
Sheesh. She means business.
I might throw a little orange on here just in case I need some wings or something.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to, and what I usually use and I would recommend is this goddess pressing sheet. I don't want to open this because, well, I'll open it, but
open it and show it, but we just won't use it.
I forgot mine at home.
And what's the reason for the pressing sheet?
So it protects your iron, which is very important. And it keeps, like this gum here.
If she were to put the iron over this whole thing, then she has spaces that have fusible, right?
And look how big and nice this thing is.
That is nice. I love it.
This one's 17 3/4 by 24,
I love
believe.
it. Mm-hmm.
And it covers my whole piece right there.
Yep.
So I don't have to worry about moving this around. It's going to do my whole surface at once. But having just said that, I'm going to show you why this is so much nicer than what I'm about to use. Roll this up.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to have to switch spots.
Okay. Do you want me to come over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is how your steam seam works really well. And I'm just going to stick this on here. And this is just something I had at my desk.
We
saw the big ones.
Yeah, we saw the big ones. They were 12 by 12s. And we love those too.
Yeah. What I like about the goddess pressing sheet though is it's a little bit thinner and it slides around with me as I go, and it tends to do this a little bit faster.
If you want something that's heavier, then that's where that fusion view works really well.
Yeah, and I like to build collage on the fusion view, but I like to adhere my steam with the goddess. But they both work. I am the opposite of my father-in-law. He says never buy two tools that do the same thing. I say buy 4.
There you go. Whatever's going to do the job the best, right?
Sorry, this usually goes a little bit faster, but this thing is tacky. So this is stuck on here now, and it's permanent.
Well, we're not going to actually cut out the whole thing right now anyway.
No.
So why don't you just go ahead and show us, like,
Let me do the witch's hat.
Okay, perfect.
Whatever, this is going to be a 45-minute demo. Kris loves me the most.
Yes, I do. She thinks that she's my favorite, and she really is.
Aw. You know they're downstairs watching this.
That's right.
Katie has it on.
There you go. Anyone who's with me at the time is my favorite. How's that?
That's what I would tell about my kids, too.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because they all feel like we're your favorites. So that means you're doing something right. Okay. Gonna come over here.
Okay.
And normally I would do this with a rotary cutter, but we're just gonna be super fast. And if you're in my class, we'll go on this way more in depth, but here's just a little preview of one thing that you will learn.
Yeah.
So this has not stuck on here very well, so I need to hit it again with the iron.
Janet asks, what is it here? I'll answer this question while you do that. Okay. Janet, you asked, what is the difference between steam-a-seam and heat and bond for sewing? And there's actually that's a great question, Janet, because steam-a-seam actually allows you to reposition things. So it has a little bit of a tact on it, and so when you put down an applique, and let's say you're building an applique and you have it going in all different areas of your background, you can actually stick it down and it has the tact without having to iron it. And then once you're sure that that's where you want it to be, that's when you iron it. And so that's why I actually really love steam-a-seam, is because it gives you a chance to move your applique around, where you don't get that with heat and bond light. With heat and bond light, how many times, like, if you couldn't just put everything down and then just walk away from it.
How many times do you drop it on the way to the iron?
Exactly. Or or maybe you've positioned everything, but you haven't pressed it down yet, and the cat comes by, or you want to roll it out, then save it for tomorrow to work on the project tomorrow. You can do that with Steam-A-Seam 2, which you cannot do with Heat and Bond Light. So I hope that helps explain that.
It is your...
And yes, Carol, you're my favorite too.
It's the only permanent removable, which repositionable, but which sounds like such an oxymoron, but it really does work. Okay, so this was ironed down, and you'll know because when you peel it, if I can get my hand to work here. I ran up the stairs too many times, now I'm shaky. Okay, it's tacky here and not here anymore. This is smooth, this is sticky. Okay, so that's how I know I've done it. And what I'm going to do here, I need a pencil. Pen will work. So we're going to do this little witch's hat right here. And this is kind of weird. You have to wrap your brain around it. But you're going to peel this off. Don't go all the way. Leave yourself a little bit. And then, you might have to angle this down. I'm going to place it, see that? This way.
Show us again. See how she was on there. Now she peels it back. She was on there. Now she peels it back, and she has a paper side to it. This is where she is now drawing the...
Yeah, so you're going to draw on where your sticky stuff used to be. Oh, come on, pen. Work.
Here, let me get you one.
I got a Sharpie. Okay. Although I won't be able to see that. Yes, I will. Actually, a Sharpie's better because it'll show up.
Yeah.
Black's a little bit hard. So I'm just going to trace this really, really well because I was an art student. Can't you tell? We're just going to make that work. Okay. And then you'll put this back on. And you can just hand press it lightly if you want, or I will hit it with my iron. But look, you can see, you see my trace is there, and that's my cut line.
Whoa. See, I've never really used it that way.
Yeah, I know. It's a little backwards, but it works quite well.
Especially if you have like lots of pieces out of the same fabric, that would be a great way to go as well. So Cindy asked, can you use a cutting machine with Steam-A-Seam?
Probably with like a right kind of blade. Although,
I don't know.
You could test it. I've never tried.
Yeah. You can with Heat and Bond.
It might gum up because it's got that glue on it. I'm afraid it would gum up your blade.
If somebody else has used it before out there, let us know. Janet loves this idea for tracing. Awesome.
It actually is like super intuitive.
Slick, yeah.
Then you only have to trace it once and you don't have to cut it twice.
That's close.
Look how cute my little witch hat is.
It's adorable.
But this is my favorite part. Maybe.
Debbie said she missed the beginning. Did you peel one side first?
I did. I peeled. Whatever side peels easiest is the side you peel. So this is sticky. Like it's stuck to my hand.
See, and that way you can reposition it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So you'll stick it on here, and it is not permanent until you iron it again. And that way you can kind of decide if you like where it is. Build layers. Maybe you do things and, oh shoot, it's not centered. Don't worry. You can peel it off.
Yeah.
And try it this direction.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going anywhere.
Jackie says her silhouette didn't like the Steam-A-Seam. Worked
I
better
don't
with
think
Heat
it
and
would.
Bond. Yeah.
So anyway, that is where that is very advantageable.
Janice asks, how much difference between the light and the regular? How do you choose which to use?
So if I was doing something like this, the light would be okay. Collage quilting, you want the regular. Just because you're moving so many things all the time, it does lose its tack after a while. The first one I made was with light, and it was a hot mess with the tiny pieces. But I mean, it works. It's just not as user friendly.
Yeah.
For collage, but for just basic applique, it's totally fine. And it's a little bit thinner, so it's easier if you're quilting it to get through. So
Annette asked, how do you do it differently, Kris? The only way I do it differently is I actually just trace it from the beginning, and then I adhere it just like I would normally with Heat and Bond Light.
Where you cut it out.
And where I cut it out. And then, I mean, that's really the only way I do it differently. The only thing that I like versus the steam seam too is because it's repositionable. So I use it in that sense. There you go. There you go.
But yeah, and you totally could just use it like normal heat and bond. I just like to get all my fabric on there at once and only have to hit the iron one time. And
right. So Janet asked, so once you iron it, it's stuck for good? You can't reposition it after it's ironed?
Yeah, once you've steamed it down.
Once it's ironed to your project.
Yes.
Now, she ironed it on this.
And that made it permanent to this.
Yeah.
So I think they use this for hemming things. Don't they have that tape?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
But this will not be permanent until I press it.
So now she can actually play around with all those different parts to the owl, right?
Yeah.
And she could lift up, part of the hat and put the body underneath it. And then she could lift up the wing and make sure that, the body is where she wants it to be. And she could move the eyes around and all those things.
Build all the layers at the same time. And then not, because with this, what you would do is you do the body. I can't do this backwards. Body first. And you'd go and iron that down.
Yeah, you're doing layers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This way you can build the whole thing at once and then go press it when you're done. And it's not going to move around on you.
Exactly. Barbara said you can make sure it's going the right direction doing it this way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you like it. And it's not going to... I don't know how many times I've done heat and bond where I've laid it all out and then I move it to my iron.
How fun that is.
And it slides. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that. I love the idea of being able to reposition. You cannot do that with heat and bond.
Mm-mm.
So that's why steam seam 2.
Steam seam 2.
It's got to be steam seam 2.
I don't know what
steam. Yeah.
I bet they just redid it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that a few years ago they had a problem with the formula and the formulation, and it was giving people all sorts of issues. And they have since formulated it, I guess you could say.
I actually think a new person started making it.
Yeah.
Like right when we started getting into collage, we couldn't get it in because they stopped making it.
Exactly. There was a time when they stopped production.
But don't worry, we have it in stock.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads us into
today's deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and also, when you're cutting stuff out, you want to use serrated scissors. It hugs.
I like to say it hugs the fabric.
It hugs the fabric, and it also gives it. It's kind of like a teeny tiny zigzag, so your fabric won't fray as much. Not that it will with the steam seam, but it just gives it a nice finished edge that's a little bit more done.